Okay, today we're going to be talking about why your SMMA ads get broke leads and you're stuck on SMS. Maybe you're trying to transition to meta ads, you want to run your own campaign, generate book calls and autopilot, but you're really struggling because you're getting shit leads and then you're stuck on cold SMS. So here's the story. You make a little bit of money from cold SMS outreach, you decide to invest into paid ads. You feel super fucking optimistic, everything feels great, you're super excited, shiny object syndrome. You spend days or potentially weeks building out a funnel. You launch the campaign, you potentially stop your outreach even though you know you shouldn't, and the leads come crashing in. How exciting, right? Sounds great. But guess what happens? No one answers, or if they do, they're Juan Jose who mows lawns for a living and misread the ad. You're targeting concrete. You wasted time, you wasted money, and now you feel super demotivated and just flat. Today, here's what you're going to learn. How to make ads cheaper than SMS, how to get good quality leads without a hardcore lead form, how to warm up leads through a simple funnel, and how much ad spend you should be spending on these ads. Then finally, the core stages of an ad campaign, which is most misunderstood by the majority of people. If you're new here, I'm Jack. I was previously a commercial pilot. Then I was the team lead for one of the UK's largest marketing companies. I've been doing digital marketing for the last 7.5 years, spent 100 grand in secret shopping every single fucking mentorship there is in this space, spent over $1 million in ads, and I am currently running a successful lead generation business in the US and UK markets. Number one, how to make ads cheaper than SMS. So let's talk about something quickly, which is the CAC, customer acquisition cost. In cold SMS, it's generally between $150 to $250. With ads, it's generally between $350 to $650, or sometimes a lot more. But here's the thing we all forget. To acquire a customer with cold SMS, it requires right about between 10 and 15 man hours of either setting or closing. Again, that is tracked data, that is real metrics that I've collected from my own business and many other people's as well. To acquire a customer with ads, it actually requires between 1 to 2 man hours of triaging and closing. It's really simple. Lead comes in, triage lead, book call, show up to call and close. If we recall the phrase, time is money, we can reverse engineer the maths and find that our hourly earnings are significantly higher with ads than they are with cold SMS, as I imagine a lot of you would understand. This means due to the concept of time value and time efficiency, ads naturally will be more cost effective than SMS due to two things. Number one, opportunity cost. The money lost during the hours wasted doing manual outreach. Number two, man hours. The human time dedicated to achieve a specific result. That can be delegated, that can be undelegated, depending on whether you hire setters or not. But please remember, even if you delegate this time, your hourly earnings are still lower due to paying more staff payroll. How to get good quality leads without hardcore lead forms. The majority of people do think that in order to get good quality leads, you must have a shitload of questions in a lead form and very harsh conditional logic. That isn't quite true. First and foremost, let's define quality. The customer has intent to move forward, the customer has financial resources to move forward, and the customer has the business infrastructure to deal with the work delivered. So how do we ensure that that's the case? Number one, intent. There are 3 ways to ensure our lead has intent. First, we can create intent, believe it or not. This is by building so much interest and curiosity that the customer begins to feel emotions towards our offer, either through very humorous and sarcastic ads, clear, very realistic offers, and a surplus of testimonials as well. An example there would be like a long form educational advert. It's funny, it's engaging, it tells the story that they resonate with. Second, we can target the top layer of the market known as the problem and solution aware level. They already know they have a problem that needs solving and they know that you can solve it through your offer. An example of that is what we call a direct response ad or just a still image with your offer slapped on top of it. Lastly, we create friction. High intent leads would be happy to persevere through a fat ass funnel with a trillion questions because they have a deep need for your service. And then what happens is when they actually submit a form, a lead pixel trigger is created teaching Meta that that is the type of high intent lead that you want more of. So let's talk about financial qualification. This is an extremely simple but important part of the business. If you're getting leads that are high intent but low financial qualification, you simply cannot sell them. They cannot afford your offer. It's simple, but if you get it wrong, it will ruin your ad campaign. First and best method of doing this is understanding that broke offers attract broke buyers. So for example, 0 upfront, only pay after the job is delivered. This style of messaging is fantastic for a high volume in your campaign, but requires strong filtering to produce financially qualified leads. Next, we've got ad callouts. Okay, in the ad itself, we call out our exact ICP, which is your ideal customer profile. I'll give you an example. Trucking companies with a fleet of 10 trucks, listen up. We add it to our ad copy, we add it to the script in the copy, we add it to the primary text. Now that when people see it, if they are not a match to that ideal customer profile, they simply do not watch the rest of the advert. The next way of doing this is through a landing page, or what we call soft DQs, standing for soft disqualifications. For example, we make an element just above or below the lead form saying who this is not for, and then a long list of people that shouldn't fill the form. Lastly, we do have tight conditional logic, meaning if you've not got good enough monthly revenue, you are simply filtered out of the form, and the meta learns not to target that type of lead. The final thing we need to check, other than intent and financial qualification, is that the customer has the business infrastructure to deal with the work delivered. Again, this one ties back into the ICP callout. We call it an MEL, minimum equipment list the company must have. Either a certain number of crews, a certain amount of revenue, a certain number of machines, like whatever it is in particular you need them to have that shows the size of the business that they actually own. Naturally, anyone who isn't the ICP will just stop watching and move on. The next thing to discuss is how to warm up leads through a simple funnel. If a funnel is built correctly, you will have very easy sales calls, very high show rate, and just a very easy life. If built incorrectly, you'll most likely misdiagnose the problem, change your show sequence, your ads, or even the fucking niche and pivot. So, how do we build a good funnel? Let's look at the main components now. Number one is the offer reinforcement. On every page of the funnel, there must be at least a mini mention of the actual offer to reinforce why they're there. It could be like a little symbol that says only pay per job, or the mini guarantee just pops up here and there as they scroll through the funnel. As they go through testimonials, a quick reminder on the offer. Number two is trust signals. That could be Google reviews, testimonials, news articles. Number three is competency. So there should be a short VSL for proof and trust, but a long form YouTube channel with explainer videos showing you know what you're doing. Or the last thing that's very, very important is pre-handles, videos and or elements that pre-handle common objections within your sales call. The next section here discusses how much to spend on your ads. Very simply, if you are tight on budget, I recommend you start at $50 per day. That is the best starting budget. If you have a bit more to play around with, $100 a day is better. What I will say though is the more you spend, the quicker you get the data. For example, I would rather spend $200 a day for 2 days than $50 a day for 8 days just for the same data. This helps us validate ads and offer quicker. The last thing that I mentioned I would go over today, which is probably one of the more important things, is segmenting your core stages of ad campaigns. First, we have something called secret shopping, meaning we book calls or literally pay competitors to learn their actual sales process and delivery systems on the back end. Good artists take inspiration, great artists steal, ladies and gentlemen. Then we offer and ad validate. Very simple. We make sure that our offer resonates very nicely with the audience, and we see which of our ad creatives are producing the best and most efficient method of getting that offer into the market. Then we funnel validate. We make sure we have small changes for quality control. For example, when we're ad validating and offer validating, we generally use lead forms. Then we switch to landing pages when we're trying to funnel validate. Finally, we do sales validation, which is making sure people are buying and also engaging with our sales calls. We can do this by seeing how behavior patterns change depending on the ads, seeing the intent the leads have, the talk time per lead, see the percentage that the salesperson speaks versus the customer. These are all indicators to see that the sales process is actually validated. That's it for today's video. If you have any questions or just want to connect, shoot me a DM on IG and I will get back to you. Thanks so much.